What's up, everybody? Welcome into the stream. My name is Rob Trujillo, if you didn't already know. And we are about to stream the SEC title game, do a little watch along. I won't have the actual game on because I did get in trouble, but still love watching along with you guys, talking ball. Would love to know what bets you guys have on the game. It's funny, I got a text from my boy, a fellow bettor himself, right before the game that said, I'm trying not to put my entire bankroll on Georgia minus 5.5. And I said, that's hilarious because I just bet Alabama plus 4.5. CBS getting a little nostalgic here, running out of years that they will be the host of the SEC. It was announced that it'll be moving to ABC not next year, but the year after, I believe. So it seems like every time I tune into a CBS broadcast, they're very nostalgic. But excited for this one. Georgia, Bama. Possible there's a playoff spot on the line. I'm not wholly sure about that, to be honest. I think Texas winning might, and I stress might, have blocked Bama's way in even with a win. That would be crazy, but it's at least a possibility. That would mean no SEC team gets in my opinion. But I do think there is a path for that to happen. It's just crazy to think about, but the SEC, for as dominant as it's been for the past 30 years, is not as dominant this year. And I think evidenced in the fact that you have a game here where you could have an SEC champion that might end up being number 5, might end up being out of the playoff. Kind of crazy. So far, the chalk has held, for lack of a better term. Washington with the win last night. I thought they looked good. Came out strong, wavered a little bit in the middle, finished. So I think Washington asserted themselves last night. Of course, they're in undefeated. They'll be in the top 4. Just a matter of where they go and who they play. Some talk of a Rose Bowl, a Michigan versus Washington Big Ten champ, theoretically, versus Pac-12 champ in the Rose Bowl one more time, which would be very nostalgic and is certainly a possibility if Georgia wins. If Georgia loses, I assume Michigan is going to jump to number 1. That is, of course, assuming a Michigan win tonight. A lot of the talk that I'm going to be doing today will be assuming a Michigan win tonight. I don't think Iowa has the horses. But it'll be interesting to see. Their defense can certainly hang. They just haven't been able to score. So, but a lot of the talk I'm going to be doing is going to be assuming a Michigan win tonight, because I do not think that's as close of a matchup as some of these other games that we got going on. Florida State is the big question to me. I think they might get left out no matter what. I think they might get left out no matter what. And that's a little bit crazy to say, too. A 13-0 ACC champion gets left out. But if they squeak a game out today and their offense doesn't look good, I think it's at least in the realm of possibility that they get left out. And that your 4 teams are Big Ten champ Michigan, SEC champ Georgia, Pac-12 champ Washington, and then Big 12 champ Texas, and that Florida State gets left out as an ACC champion and undefeated. I think it's totally possible a one-loss Texas team jumps them. That's one scenario. I think with an Alabama win and a Florida State loss, it's possible that you get Ohio State and Texas in, which is crazy to me. But if your ACC champ is Louisville and your SEC champ is Bama, I think they'd be hard pressed to leave Bama out, but I don't think it's out of the question. Bama's loss is going to be to Texas, so you defer to Texas in that situation, and then you're looking at who has the better loss, Bama or Ohio State. Now, the committee has said in years past that it weighs conference championships, that those matter. It's going to be put to the test because a loss to Michigan, I think, is better than a loss to Texas, and you'll have a one-loss SEC champion who right now is ranked behind Ohio State, and a one-loss non-champion team who has their only loss to the number one team in the country. I think it's possible. I don't think it's likely, but I think it's possible that the SEC gets left out altogether, which would just be wild. I mean, people would absolutely go crazy. I can't even tell you. And I think there's a lot of money that would be ballied about saying that, hey, you're going to put our team in kind of thing. Sankey and whatever. But I at least think it's a possibility that the SEC gets left out. The only thing I think we know for sure right now is that the Pac-12 is in. Who would have thought that? I think maybe that is the most interesting thing about what we have going on today, is that we're midway through Championship Saturday, and the only thing we know for sure is that the Pac-12 is in. After getting left out, I think every other year of the college football playoff, Pac-12 finally in with Washington playing lights out. All right. They're in their last commercial break before they kick off here. I'm going to take a commercial break along with them, turn off pre-roll, and we will be right back for the start of the SEC championship game. Okay, welcome back. Let's fire up the SEC championship game. Kickoff fielded out of bounds. And Bama's going to have good field position to start. I like how Milroe has been playing, and I did not like him very much at the beginning of the year. Interested to know what bets that you got. Interested to know your thoughts on the CFP and what you think are likely scenarios or outcomes. Um, so feel free to share those along uh, during the chat here. Already third down for the Tide. Wanted to try to take a big shot to start, which I like that idea. But you wonder if you would have wanted a easier first throw for Milroe. Good defense from Georgia. And after good starting field position, we'll take the ball right back. Thank you very much. Talking about how there's two spies on Milroe in the Georgia defense. Wow, that was a bad punt. Oof, got lucky. All right, back in the Dogs coming up next. Um, yeah, if you want to force Milroe to throw the ball, I think that's probably not a bad situation, but it feels a little tenuous to start here. I like that easy little throw you give Beck to start off with compared to what you did to Milroe. Hey, throw it deep on your first play. But I do like the aggression. So it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't there. Again, an easy throw for Beck. He's giving him a couple easy ones. You've got good enough playmakers on this Georgia offense to get the ball out to him and kind of, I want to say, protect your quarterback a little bit, but just easy throws to start off with, you know? So I bet Alabama plus 4.5 at the start here. Not looking great. Not looking great. I do love to middle. I always, almost always middle my big game bets. Um, but Georgia looks strong here at the start. Still another screen pass, just a couple real short, easy throws for Georgia here. And I really do like that idea, that game plan coming into a championship game. Settle him in a little bit. I think this is one of the unique things about the Georgia offense because you have Bowers, who's such a good receiving threat. You have the opportunity to pull him into the formation and run the ball effectively. And it's just not something that you see a lot in today's game. Like that versatility in formation makes them real dangerous. Gary Danielson talking about taking away that inside run game. I think if you're Alabama, you have to count on the fact that your defensive line is good enough to do that on their own. You have to scheme to take away something else. Like, I get that you want to take that away, but I would be trusting my 5-star recruits down there to do it. You know what I mean? Touchdown, Georgia. Off tackle. Kendall Milton. And Georgia looking strong to start here. Talking with Sterls for the girls, part of our NFL pregame show. He might come join us. He's a big Michigan fan, as you all know, because you give him plenty of crap for it. But he might come join us for a little bit here. We'll see. So, of the playoff scenarios, I think the likeliest one is also the most boring, which is Georgia, Michigan, Washington, and Florida State. Because I think Florida State gets absolutely hammered by Georgia. And I think Michigan, Washington will be a good game. Um, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I think it'll be a good game. Um, but man, I think Florida State would get absolutely just dosed by Georgia. So it brings up an interesting question of, do you have to keep Florida State out uh, because they are without their quarterback? I've seen all kinds of reports like, hey, the CFP committee wants you to know they do take injuries into account when they're deciding who to put up there. And if that's the case, are they just really trying to say, we're not putting in Florida State? You know what I mean? Even if they win, we're not putting in Florida State. And I think that's fair because I think Florida State gets waxed. I really do. So your options for another team to put in over them are a one-loss Texas Big 12 champ. Um, their losses to Oklahoma and a one-loss Ohio State team. Their loss is to the number 2 team in the country. Now that would be assuming Georgia wins. If Georgia loses to Bama, God, I do see a scenario where SEC's not in. And I feel like I'm going to catch a lot of heat for that, but I do see a possibility of an SEC team not getting into the college football playoff. All right, if you're Bama here, I think you have to just be real cognizant about not giving the ball right back to the Bulldogs. All right. Let's go. Fire it up. Come on. Yeah, and they start with a run that gains them, I was going to say 5 yards, but 6. And immediately, right? Like, all right, let's get this thing back under control. It's a very Nick Saban move. Now, listen, part of the reason Nick Saban's been able to do that for so many years is because he's always had the more talented team. So, hey, let's run the ball. Let's get this thing back under control. Everybody chill out. But you don't have the more talented team necessarily right now. Oh, you need that catch. You need guys making plays for Milrow. That was a good defensive play, to be honest with you, but so 3rd and 4. At least it's a little bit shorter this time, but right back in the same scenario. And he takes another deep shot. It's just a strange call to me for that one, but maybe that's just me. Yeah, wait for your crossers who are both open. What are you doing? Why are you throwing a deep shot? All right, another punt from Alabama. This one struck better. Seven nothing. Uga in the lead, and now they got the ball back. And my 4.5 is looking in bad shape right now. What was your favorite bet of the weekend? The championship weekend. I could not believe Washington was plus 9.5. At what point when you watch those two teams play football did you feel like either team was 9.5 points better than the other one? I mean, absolutely absurd. So I hammered that, and when they got up big, I middled it with Oregon plus 7.5 and was able to hit both. So I hit my middle. So last night was a good night for me, but that was my favorite line of the weekend so far. I just could not believe Washington was plus 9.5. I liked Tulane in the American game. I've got that on the second TV right now. SMU's without their quarterback. Let's see what else. I didn't think Oklahoma State had much of a chance. I don't think Iowa has much of a chance. who else? I think the ACC title game is going to be very interesting, and I think that's unfortunate because that means Florida State's not very good, to be honest with you. So. These commercials of for schools are always not great. This is the University of Georgia, and we're just getting started. But we've been around since 1785. Like, come on. Got to lean on your defense here if you're Bama. Got to get a stop. If you don't, this thing can get topsy-turvy here real quick. All right, 2nd and 13 now. And you've warmed him up a little bit. I think you got to trust Beck to throw it downfield a little bit. What a catch. Yeah, I was going to say. It was a stupid throw, I'll tell you that. He got real lucky with that one. Yeah, definitely a trap move. 3rd and 13, you got to get off the field if you're Bama here. Keep this thing under control. Oh, that should have been a pick. It was 13 more. Wow, he was playing deep. You got to make this catch. Oh, a thicker kicker. I don't think I've ever seen their punter before. So Alabama gets a stop, and I think you end up with the ball at the 50-yard line. I think you really got to be thinking you got to get points here. You stop the bleeding. Let's turn this thing into a game, even with 3 points. I think you're getting there, kind of thing. These progressive commercials I really enjoy with the challenge flags. You said you'd never want to watch the game with him again. Yeah, I think they do a pretty good job. Tulane, number 22, Tulane up 7-0 on SMU right now. I think that one they missed. SMU missed a field goal. I still think that one's going to be a blowout though. What else do we got going on right now? UNLV getting housed at home in the Mountain West title game. That's kind of crazy. 31-17, Boise State looks like they will be the Mountain West champs once again. And App State and Troy in the first quarter scoreless. Love App State. So much fun to root for. Milrow, excuse me, Milrow with a called run, and I think that's not a bad idea here. Josh Allen always says, "Man, I like getting that. I like getting hit the first time. I feel like I'm in the football game then." Um, so let's see if that wakes Milrow up a little bit here. Bama running the ball. And a big first down, too, because now you're starting to get into field goal range here. Maybe a couple more yards and you're in field goal range. And like I said, a score of any kind here. Tighten this thing up a little bit. What a play by Milrow. Reverse field, pick up a first down. Just barely got away from that big old paw of 97. I don't know if that was a read or a called run for Milrow. Either way, though, I mean, lean into it a little bit here. It's not particularly interesting, but you're not in the SEC championship game to be interesting. You're here to be effective. 2nd and 3 is effective. Now that should have been a pull. Yeah, Georgia's defense just says enough. I don't know if he has the option on this play or if it's just a straight handoff. I think you got to get. They're pointing out Milrose 0 for 3. I do think you got to get him some easy throws, but I might call a run play here. So you avoid that. All right. Ooh, wide open. The reason I would think about running there is because you aren't necessarily at the edge of field goal range, but if you take a sack there, that's a disaster. He didn't. He threw the ball, but I think about running it there just for that reason. Will Reichard, most points in FBS history. Good for him. It's really annoying that it's always kickers, but Caleb Williams on a Fanville commercial makes me think about, you know, he has said I shouldn't say he has said, his family has said that he might not come out if he doesn't like the organization who has the first overall pick. Looking more and more like that's going to be Chicago. Be interesting to see what they think in terms of, you know, is Chicago the right place for him? Chicago could certainly use him. You think it's still a slam dunk? Caleb Williams is the number one overall pick. I believe that's likely. Eberflus, however, won't be the head coach there. And so I've seen them linked to Harbaugh, but it would be interesting. Do you call Lincoln Riley and just say like, "Hey, man, what do you think?" You know, bring in your boy. Oh, what's No Sean getting honored for? Hmm. So if you're Georgia, you march down and get a touchdown here, you really take control of the game. You march down, you get three, you've got it in hand. You march nowhere and give the ball up, and Bama's going to have a whole lot of momentum. So I do think this is an important drive here, just like the last one was important for Alabama. These early kind of momentum swings as you get into the game here can really decide the score effects on the rest of the game. Um, so even though it's early, these are important drives. If I'm Georgia, I don't know. I mean, listen, if anybody can match up, it's Georgia and Alabama. But I just don't know that I want to run right into the teeth of that defense. It was successful on first down, but it wouldn't be my first choice all the time. Um, as they're stacked up here on second down. Dude, my throat is so weird today. Jalen Milrose, 4 for 0 yards. You got to get him going, man. American Championship tied up at 7. SMU and Tulane. All right, let's preview tonight's games a little bit. Michigan and Iowa. Iowa has been better under new stewardship on the offense. But let's see, their last couple games 23, 15, 13. Ugh. Why is Iowa in a title game? It's interesting. Let's look at the standings here. So most of the other conferences switched to just the best 2 teams playing in the title game. Big Ten did not. Big Ten still has an East and a West. And let's have a look. See here. Yeah, it would have been an Ohio State-Michigan rematch if it was just the 2 best teams in the conference. Penn State is 7-2 in conference. Iowa is 7-2 in conference. But Ohio State is 8-1. How would you have felt about a rematch of the game 2 weeks back to back? Would have been fun. Not going to lie to you. Not going to lie to you, that would have been a good time. Great job by the Bama defense. They were all over him. And remember what I said about the momentum swings now, right? It was all Georgia for the most part in this first quarter. Jalen Milroe is 0 for 4 for 0 yards. And yet here we are with Bama getting the ball back with a chance to take the lead with a touchdown at the end of this first quarter here. So for as good as Georgia has been, means a whole lot of squat right now. Got to get their offense going, though, Bama does. Broncos-Texans, game of the morning tomorrow. I'd try to get Milroe an easy little throw here. A little screen, slant, something like that. Wow, good design on that run. 13-yard pickup. Alabama choosing to run the ball here and assert their will a little bit, and they are more than capable of doing that. I just think you got to get Milroe involved a little bit here. Get him a completion or two. It's not that you need the help right now, but at some point, this game might come down to his arm. You got to get him into it. You know what I mean? Second and 2 is a good spot to do that. Throw it. Check it down. There you go. Even the check down throw was not the best. But you let him complete a ball. Read it, see it, complete a ball. Okay, 1st and 10. Now get him another one. See if you can get him another one. You know what I mean? Oh, 2 have an illegal man downfield. All right, we are going to hit the end of the first quarter, and we will take the commercial break along with them. Second down. All right. All right. We will take the commercial break with them. We'll be back on the other side. All right, second quarter. I really think you got to get Milrow going here. He has struggled. Nice throw down the middle. Ooh. Yeah, that looked a weird kind of violent. Looked like it had to be either a face mask or a horse collar. Couldn't have gone down any other way. Alabama almost in the red. I was going to say in the red zone again, but actually I don't think they officially got in the red zone on that last trip. They were close. Yeah, Milrow tried to sneak there. I don't think he got it. Take a timeout. Fourth and a foot, 2 feet. I thought they were going to take a timeout. Maybe not. Went to a downhill run there. Picked it up. So a holding call is going to probably force Milrow to get into it a little bit here. Yeah, that's a tough call. It's a tough holding call. So first and 20, you can't really. The important thing here is not to take a sack, but wow, wide open. How'd they lose that? Who had the back? Mm. Yeah, a little OPI there, but you design it like that. And just like that, A game that you felt like Georgia was firmly in control of, and Bama's up 10-7. Welcome to the SEC. All right, we'll take a break with them. We'll be right back. All right. Oh, God. I come back from break and have to sneeze. Alabama drives down, puts a touchdown on the board. My friend just texted me. Looks like Georgia thought they were going to have a walk in the park after that first quarter. And then they got punched in the face. This Alabama running game has been so good against a really good Georgia defense, too, by the way. Yeah, I mean, Musburger just called their first drive machine like, and I think that's right. Got to get back to it a little bit. Third down forced by this Alabama defense. You get a stop here, and you really change the complexion of this game. All of a sudden, you got to be real worried if you're Georgia. First down for Georgia, and I think they needed it too. Nice throw by Beck. Yeah. Yeah, Danielson's talking about him going through his progression, and I think that's exactly right. 1, 2, 3. I got him. Just give me a second. Bang. Yeah. Yeah. Danielson saying probably his third target on the play. I think it was. Beck feeling it a little bit here. Quick, easy throw. Finally, Georgia putting their foot down, running the ball a little bit. I think that's big. It's the SEC title game, man. You got to know it's going to be physical. Alabama figured that out early. It looks like Georgia's finally getting there. I think that first drive might have been too easy for them, you know? Thought they were going to walk over some people. Oh, did I feel like that was a. Why do I feel like he should have even maybe been in better position to pick that off? Oh, Georgia with a little tempo. That was interesting. Georgia trying to go tempo there, and the officials didn't have the ball spotted. Nice decision by Beck. Yeah, great decision by Beck. Middle of the field wide open. Says, I got a first down. I'm going to take it. Yeah, the man, CFP is interesting. I don't know that that's true, Brent. Said both these teams playing for a college playoff berth, and I don't know that that's entirely true. Let the air breathe a little bit today. How about? Oof. Alabama defense, after getting dog walked on the first drive, came to play, man. Ooh, false start. It's going to move him back. I don't know that it was a chip shot before, but it's certainly not now. Oh, did it go in? Nope. I don't know that the 5 yards definitely made the difference, but oof. 10-7 Bama, and now you get it from the spot of the kick. So you're going to have excellent field position as well. All right, we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Big drive for Bama here. I know I keep saying that, but you are in a momentum swing portion of the game here, and both teams keep wrestling it back and forth from each other. Bama can really take a hold here if they drive down and score a touchdown. Georgia had a chance to take a hold. They did not do it. Bama did what they needed to do to wrestle control back. And now Bama with their opportunity to take hold of this game. Stream is dying right now. Okay, 1st and 10 after what looks like it was pass interference. I don't think it was Saban. So for first coach, second coach to lead his team to 3 straight 12-0 starts. I don't think it was Saban. Those teams always had a loss, something like that. Maybe Pete Carroll. Yeah, loud in that dome for a 50-50 crowd. Nice job by the Bama back to fall forward and make sure you get it there. Oh, Milrow just off today. My friend's ready to cash out all his Georgia bets. That's how he feels about this. And that's what I mean when I say the swings in this game have been pretty big. Georgia had a chance to really take hold. They gave it away. And we'll see. Bama looks like they might give away their chance to take hold here, too. Might just have a war of a football game here. Third and 21, and they're taking a timeout. We'll take one with them. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Minute 34 on the second big play here. It's 3rd and 21. Yeah, what is your goal with this play? I think is important to talk about if you're Alabama. That's what that timeout was probably for. You want to try to make them use their timeout. You want to try to get into field goal range. Looks like they're going to go for field goal range. And they might be in it now. That was a nice throw. Another timeout. Interesting. 4th and 5, but I think you're within range to kick a field goal here. I don't know. We'll see. All right, we're back. Big decision on 4th down here, 4th and 5 for Alabama. See what they do. You've got the leading scorer in FBS history as a kicker. Going to take a long field goal shot here. Going to go for it on 4th and 5. Which move? Going to go for it. At least try to draw him off, right? Yeah, they're going to punt this. Hmm. Oh, a lot of timeouts. A lot of timeouts. Love to know if you have any money on the game. Any bets you got going on? Got Bama plus 4.5. Would love to hit a middle here at some point. My boy, who's got a bunch of money on Georgia, thinking about cashing out his chips right now. Come on, let's go. Fourth and 4. Do they actually go for it this time? They do. Oh, man. Nice catch. He was open for a touchdown. Quick snap there to prevent them looking at it, I believe. Nice catch. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know if that was a catch, but they went quick, so they couldn't look at it. Did he catch that? Milrow with a touchdown pass, and now you got to be worried if you're Uga, right? Because not only do they have a 10-point lead, but Milrow looks like he's in the game now. Georgia plus 3.5 is minus 130 right now. Oh man, I'm really having a hard time about if I should take this middle. And maybe Nick was right about him. I mean, Saban said at the first quarter, like, hey, listen, you got to give Milrow a chance to settle in a little bit here. Maybe a little bit anxious about the situation and where we are. And here he is with a couple nice plays back to back. .48 seconds left in the half. Georgia gets the ball. All right, I took the middle. It was Georgia plus 3.5. 17-7 at halftime. All right, 17-7 at halftime. Georgia looked like in the first quarter that they were going to run away with this thing, and what a change of events. We will take the halftime break with them. Go get yourself a drink, a snack, go to the bathroom. We will be back for the second half of what looks like it could be a great game here. All right, everybody, welcome back for the second half. A particularly long halftime there. Um, Interesting. They bring in the rules analyst immediately. Yeah, that wasn't a catch. They're looking at the fourth down catch from Isaiah Bond. That was not a catch, and we said it right away. But Bama ran right up to the ball and snapped it. I mean, I don't know what you want them to do. You're not going to get every call perfect. That's part of the game. Yeah. So they're talking about the ball being between his arms, but the ball still moves while between his arms. Yeah, I mean, it was a blown call, no doubt, but you're not going to get everyone right. That's okay. Welcome to football. Georgia could have burned a timeout if they were sure, but nobody was sure. So, all right, so Georgia gets the ball. I think, and I've said this time and time again as we've kind of gone through here, but I think it's a very important drive for Georgia. Change the whole feel. Um, if you're able to drive down, get any kind of score here, you feel like you're right in the game. If you kick this ball to Bama, it's gonna it's not gonna feel good. Carson Beck, there were a couple moments where it felt like he was feeling it a little bit in the first half there. I would love to see them lean on him a little bit here. I don't think their running game has been particularly effective. Off tackle, it was better than up the middle, but Brad Nessler implying a pain injection. Not surprised. Little off tackle run from Georgia again gets them a first down here. Carson Beck orchestrating a little bit here. Six for eight for 110 yards and two TDs since starting 0 for 4 for Milrow. Oh, is he going to get there? Way to fight for that Georgia wide receiver. 3rd and 1, big play here. Bama's defense, good afternoon. Great job by the Bama defense. Yeah, Georgia, you talked about the double dip. Georgia doesn't score on either of the drives. So if you're Georgia now, I mean, you really got to be leaning on your defense. Really need a stop here more than you have in a long time. Um, you go with a defer on the opening kickoff. You get the stop and you drive down and score a touchdown, and then you don't take advantage of your 2 for 0. I mean, your double dip. That's crazy. Um, yeah, they need to stop real bad here. I would have considered going for it there. I'm trying to think it all the way through if I really would have done it that far back in my own end, but because you believe in your defense if you're Georgia, but I think I might have gone for it there. Trying to get my stream settled here. All right. Wow, 83 yards on the opening drive, 80 yards since. And Milrow, you can really put the smackdown on him here. Yeah, and that has been the key for Bama, has been running the football. They, I mean, violently have moved down the field with the run game. Um, and that's why I think if you're Georgia, you got to say, like, hey, D, we know the offense isn't doing anything right now, but you cannot let them march down the field on you running the football. Got to make Milrow beat you. Weird end of that play. Looked like there was a penalty somewhere, but no. Yeah, good non-call. All right, so you're right back where you were at the start of the second half, which is Georgia needs a drive, man. Georgia needs a drive. little bit disjointed of a start here to the second half. See what team can kind of put their foot down here in the second half. The conversation was stark at halftime. Finally heard some talking heads talk about, can they really leave the SEC out of the CFP? And I think the answer is it's possible. It is absolutely possible. That was kind of the conclusion that they came to as well. You would be in a spot where you have to keep out a team like Texas to put in a team like Bama, and Texas beat Bama. So, I mean, does it not matter? Does the regular season not matter? Do you want to just say it doesn't matter? Now, that scenario, of course, would include Florida State winning tonight, which I don't think is a guarantee, and Michigan winning tonight. If Florida State loses, you might see Texas and Bama get in. But there's at least an argument for Ohio State to get in, as in that case, their only loss would be to the number one overall team. But looking more and more like they're going to end up in fifth and just outside. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Is it possible that Florida State wins and they keep them out? So interesting. So many stories to try to figure out how this is going to play out. (17-7), and I think you got to lean on Carson Beck a little bit here. First down, Georgia. Deep throw. And I wouldn't let him breathe. I go right back to it. Not the cleanest catch in the world, but he caught it, and that's what matters. They're reviewing it. Yeah, I think they're worried because his hand moves on the football, but it's always under the football. I think that's a catch. I'd be surprised, but I've been surprised before. So okay, let's go. Come on, let's go. Couple Bama players went down on that play. All right, they're taking a commercial. We'll take it with them. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back. Couple Tide defenders injured on that play. Interesting. Sure, they got the depth to fill in, but we'll see if that makes a difference here. Great coverage. A throw to Bowers and great coverage by Amos. Third and 7, and listen, I think you're good here with any score if you're Georgia, so I'm not getting too cute trying to pick this up. Oof, maybe too cute there. But he rolls out incomplete, and now you're going to get a field goal try and make it a one-score game. This kicker already missed one today. Doesn't there. All right, so you make it one score, and I think that matters. Got to lean on that defense again. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back. One score game, halfway through the third quarter. I'm exhausted. I have no idea why I don't feel well. But sorry if the energy's down a little bit. Fighting through a little bit here. Force Milrow to throw. Man, I just don't think you're going to survive without Milrow throwing the ball a little bit. He has not been able to. I mean, I shouldn't say that. He finished the half strong. There you go. First down. Milroe with a nice throw on third down. Man, Milroe getting away with some murder here. Shift back into a run formation. That's exactly what they do. And I'm not so sure you don't use that just to march right down the field. I just don't trust Milroe right now. Yeah, I don't know that that was a horse collar. Wow, they're calling it, and I do not think that that was a horse collar. Yeah, I don't know about that. But 15 yards will put him on the other side of the field now. Keep shifting into running formations and just pounding people. And the field goal here is big, so no sacks here, Jalen. It's called him Jordan. Once again, shifting to a run formation. SMU Tulane tied at 14 apiece, by the way. What did I say? Oh, that was close. But you did the one thing I told you can't do. A field goal there helps you, makes it 2 scores. I mean, it's 4th and 16. I hate the punt call here. But what else are you going to do? All right, I don't know who's watching still, but I'm not feeling great. So I'm going to end the stream. But you can catch me on social media. I'm sure I'll still be tweeting about what happens. But I don't know, something's up. I feel terrible. So I'm going to end it, and we will be back tomorrow for the your NFL pregame show with Sturls. And yeah, we'll talk to you tomorrow.